Hello everyone and welcome to the part 10 factory playthrough of the Might and Magic map. In this part we'll finally visit more of our neighbors, now that our house arrest by white border guards has been lifted after we visited the white tent. We'll have a dispute over in-house chores with teal player and he'll have to move out of his own house. Sad story for him, not for me anyway. Meanwhile, a guard is on his mission to clear out the way to the Dimension Door spell for Sealy Seal. Let's get watching. And as you can see, we already got acquainted with a green neighbor. These fella seemed hospitable. It's a pretty strong hero. Okay, this fella's rotating green teleport. As I mentioned, it's because I want a specific exit for Seal when she needs to go. Now, with slow we can actually ignore some of the border guards, and that's how we entered the green's area. I think I need one more hero to enter the green portal. And it probably will be Ignatius. Should have just enough movement to do that. I probably forgot building up my towns, as usual. No, maybe I should have moved Seal. I don't remember how many movement points she had left in the end of the previous turn, so maybe I should have moved her towards the green portal. I'm not sure. Maybe she had none left. But if she had any, I think it would make sense to town portal to Levor and then move her from that Levor is my capital, so I move her towards the green portal. Henrietta finally reached the fortress town. Oopsie daisy, not a good thing. Have automatons turned to stone. I will probably cure, simply because I don't have any other units to fight, so that would be quite an annoyance to deal with. Should be fine. Engineers should finish the cows, and they didn't even have to do that. So another bonus town, and this one is actually with quite nicely, conveniently placed Library of Enlightenment, so that would be very nice to boost my heroes later. Okay, and now I'm going to have a short dialogue with this zombie fella here. I think he forgot to vacuum the floor or some other terrible thing he did. So I need to let him know that He is a terrible, terrible zombie being. I mean, zombie is probably not a human being. It's a zombie being. Okay, and Henrietta will be doing the talking. And also, it's a good time to join armies again. At least for a while. It's not a particularly strong hero. Basically, probably the biggest problem here is that that's an undead, so I won't be able to blind. I'll have to do some okay, or maybe I'll have to kill him fast. Also a possibility. He does have a lightning bolt. That will be annoying. And he has a high spell power compared to mine, so my spell power has got a big hit. So I will likely lose something here. Now, I'm basically trying to tank some hits with quattles. Hopefully, I will win some time doing that. But I also am losing them in the process, unfortunately. So I will have to choose basically between losing some quattles or some halflings. Yeah, I moved them back so that they didn't kill leeches. Maybe I could have played it a bit better. Maybe I could have got my quaddles hit maybe one last time, and instead hit them with phoenixes. So that way maybe there would be fewer leeches left. That's one possibility. But also I have a ballista, so maybe it's fine. I would have to maybe kill the ballista if I kill too many leeches. So I have mana for one last resurrection. And that's gonna be my losses. Not terrible. I'm not too concerned about losing a few quattles or a phoenix. Both units are primarily focused around utility, around their unique abilities. Phoenix is also for their speed, so neither is actually a necessity in terms of a combat power, so bringing 5 Phoenix is same as 35 or like 135 maybe. It's not a big deal. I was actually probably more upset about losing 19 halflings than about losing 4 quattles. Okay. We'll be doing some more stuff here. So Henrietta doesn't have mana left, so I will need to move her inside the town. And, well, she has just enough movement points to do that. I left her outside so that I actually could town portal someone else. I think there is already a hero in the garrison. She will have to wait outside for a moment. So I'm passing power boosting artifacts back to Seal. I just borrowed these artifacts to fight Straker. So their primary use is obviously for Seal at the moment. Melchior is gonna go next turn and take my bonus factory city. And so he's getting ready to do just that. Sam has a few movement points left. Maybe I will use her some other way, not just leave her in the town, like I did with Inations, who had not so much in terms of movement left. a bit of a gold purse redistribution. I'm planning to collect a third purse this turn, so that I will actually have a golden goose, finally. And here we are back to Agar, finally, who is going to whatever this zone is. Don't exactly know what it is, but it's something about fairy dragons. And so Agar goes there to clear out the way to the dimension door spell or seal. And when she gets this scroll, we're gonna have a lot of fun. So I will send 2 heroes here. Broghild and Bertram. Now that's pretty cool that you basically don't have to carry the scroll of a fly to use it, so you can basically pass it to a hero, cast it, and then take it back, right? That's basically what I'm doing here, and neither Bertram nor Broghild will have a scroll of fly at this point, but they both do fly. So that's very nice. You wouldn't be able to do that with angel wings, for example. So this fella's primary goal would be to retrieve an orb of vulnerability. That is just a bit towards southeast from this location. And Floribert is gonna go and fetch the endless gold purse. I think that's what the smallest one is called. Now, I don't want to be fighting many units here, so I actually try to avoid fights with neutrals anyway. And the primary reason why I do that is I want to leave as many units as possible to be later farmed for fang arms, which I will need in order to beat the final boss this early anyway. I mean, maybe I could beat her like if I collected my units for a few months maybe, but the goal is to do it at a reasonable time, at a reasonable pace. I'm not gonna do that, hopefully. So I'd say Gorgon Lair is a decent building, and overall Gorgons are promising. So the final boss here is Pandora. Well, it doesn't say much to you, So her identity is an armorer specialist of factory, and I'm very sad that the map author actually decided to use a factory armorer specialist for that, so I don't have her in my own roster. That's very sad. And so she's an armorer specialist, very strong stats, obviously level 50, so her specialty is not like super broken, overpowered, but it's very good level for a specialist of this type, so she's gonna be very hard. And obviously her army is strong, and I think she has an orb of inhibition, so basically it's a no magic fight, except for any combination artifact that you can bring that cast some spells in the beginning. So beating her, I think it actually requires some farming. In my previous playthrough I killed her with demon farming, so I had maybe about 200,000 of demons. That was enough. In this game I won't have demons, so I'll have to work with fang arms. But that's kind of how do I say that? That's a bit too early to say, you know. I'm not yet actually even sure that I will be able to get a horn this fast. And also I got a head of the Legion, so I actually can assemble both the Golden Goose and the Statue of Legion. That's pretty nice. Now here I also don't want to be fighting, but for a different reason. I would like to hire most of these units later. We'll use a Juggernaut to kill the automatons from range. Nice and easy. And now I don't have enough wood to build. That's very unexpected to happen on month 3. Okay, I did a bit of optimization here. So Silly had a Quetzal to move without penalties on wastelands, and then I give her a Phoenix to actually go outside, and she will follow Agar. Now I need to bring army back to these two fellas. So unfortunately, this bucket is very well placed. Could be used very well, but I'd have to fight these 700 headhunters or whatever these guys are, and I would like to hire them. There are a few armies of similar size in the same bonus town area, and so if I had enough money to hire everything, I'd have a pretty sizable force of bounty hunters, and also automatons are plentiful. So this would be quite intimidating armies actually. So Henrietta goes to take this town, and surprise, surprise, that's a town of a teal player, by the way. Well, I'm not sure if teal ever captured it. Maybe did. But this fella decided that, well, okay, decided to move in instead of the teal. Okay, using chain lightning, it's a bit annoying, but I think there is an easy hypnotize target in Hospice, so we'll have pretty easy time here. It would be quite annoying if my ballista actually killed the hospital. But fortunately it doesn't. So maybe I shouldn't break the tent. Maybe I did overcomplicate this a little bit. I don't need to resurrect much of anything, so I easily had time to do everything, even if I killed the tent actually. And Henrietta will take a break here. So I still need to move my army to Broghild and Bertram. And I think I should have a hero somewhere that did not yet move. Maybe first we'll use Agardo. Agar will go this way. We'll have few fights against Fairy Dragons. We already tested our capabilities against them. So the primary challenge here is to reduce them to a good number that could be hypnotized. And maybe Armageddon is not particularly efficient in that. Unfortunately, so being a bit too... Okay, I will actually replay this fight. So I do have like 300 some mana. And there will be a place where I can double it, but I will have to win a few fights before that. So I really shouldn't be too liberal with my spending here. So here is one way to fix the problem with damage. So previously my worms would be killing like well over a half of Fairy Dragons, and what it would mean that they would always take 2 hits to kill any stack, and there would be no time when they would be close to not killing a stack. Okay, so... And here, as you can see, with fewer worms, we actually can get this situation when there is 1 or 2 dragons left after 2 hits. Same could be achieved if I brought more of the worms, so if I killed almost 40 dragons. Or actually maybe more than 40. At first I was still losing them, so my damage decreased a bit throughout the combat. So it actually helps. So if you normally kill an entire stack with your army and then you lose a few units here and there, and then you start killing just a bit less than an entire stack, and that's exactly perfect. All what we are trying to achieve. Now, worms are normally not fast enough to deal with Fairy Dragons like this. They have speed of 10. And so Agar has all 3 items for speed equipped, and that would be speed 14, which is still not enough for Fairy Dragons, who have speed 15, and obviously if they have a first turn, they first they're first to move, they will turn worms into spaghetti or something. I don't know. Into mincemeat. So you need to have a first turn. Good news is that Agar is a specialist, so he has a bonus +1 speed, which is enough here. If I didn't have Agar here, I mean, it would probably be not a great idea to bring worms then, so worms would be quite a bit weaker on a different hero. Okay, these are fights, kind of another way of approaching the kiting. So I use 2 stacks here. One is supposed to be kiting the enemy, and the 309 should be killing them. And that's basically is the idea. Very, very nice and easy. If I had to do it with just 1 stack, that would be a nightmare to do. Because snakes are pretty fast, so I would have to take a few hits. They're bulky, so they are 2 tiles. They will be they would be blocking each other out, so would be definitely less than ideal. Now, on another hand, against Hydras, I used a single stack because, well, why did the split work against snakes in the previous fight? And it worked because the snakes were afraid of retaliation of my 309 stack. So this stack would kill any snake that would actually dare to attack this these snakes, right? So it resulted in AI actually being wary of pursuing my primary stack, and so as a result they actually chose time and time again to pursue the messed up a bit with positioning previous turn, or maybe like a few turns now. Okay, so I don't want to be killing next snake in 1 turn. Okay, nice and easy. So it worked with snakes because of their retaliation, right? Of my retaliation. And it would not work with Hydras for the same reason, because they are not afraid of the retaliation, and actually they would much prefer to attack a stronger stack because of that. So 1 worm there would not be doing much of anything. But good news is that Hydras are slower, so they are easier to kite. Now, I mentioned that one of the problem is units being spread out and them having negative morale is an issue. So it actually makes them spread out a little bit. But because they're very slow, it's not a big deal. Sometimes can be useful, even. It's time to resurrect and clean up. Nice and easy. I'll hire a couple of hiders here, so Agar will be able to sacrifice them for mana. It is possibly not that important, but it's a bit of an on a safer side. Okay, that's a very lucky whatchamacallit. Very lucky flow of the combat, I guess. Very lucky RNG. They got some Miss Morales very crazy opportunities for me for early kills. Now, if they don't, it's not necessarily too bad. Just might make this fight a little bit more tedious. So Cassiopeia, I didn't mention her yet. Oh, that's a new hero. And she's also a diplomat. She doesn't have any good skills though. I think she doesn't have logistics even. And she is not a mage also, so... And I mean... Truthfully, it's not really a concern for my secondary heroes that they have wisdom. I'd rather them have logistics, pathfinding, air and earth magic, maybe scouting, maybe navigation. These are kind of also nice to have. On secondaries anyway. So, I suppose Rosic is gonna be bringing his army to Brogild and Bertram. I want to leave just enough movement for her to be able to town portal back though. So she has to stop there. And also gather some wood here. I mean, I feel like it's like day 3 of the game or something. I mean, maybe week 2. I can't imagine to be gathering wood anytime later, but there we go. There I am gathering the wood. I mean, I may have just traded some other resources for wood, but I just can't do anything about it. So I feel like it's suboptimal, and then I never do it because it feels suboptimal. Because, you know, I lose some on exchange. And it doesn't matter that I actually might be winning long term because of that, because I get to do stuff with these resources, you know. But it's just kind of a dumb idea that I have, that it's not the perfect price, I guess. And also I do plan to trade my resources later for gold, so I'm losing like a few coins first trading into wood. So as you can tell, it's a very intelligent consideration, or maybe not. Maybe not intelligent. So their goal is behind this mountain, and I brought Brogdil here because he has scouting, so he will actually see the location where they want to be, so I can fly over there. And also this sharpshooter's bow component is very handy as well. Although Agar does not have a archery skill, and for the time being I consider him as my main hero. Maybe I shouldn't, actually. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's worth briefly outlining my goals at this point and further ahead. So right now I'm basically trying to like add a few towns here and there, like expand my town portal coverage basically, while I don't have Dimension Door. And so meanwhile Agar and Seal are working towards getting Dimension Door, and when I have this Dimension Door, my expansion obviously will speed up quite a bit, and then at this point I probably will finish off the AI players, non-pink AI players anyway, before trying to do something more reckless, more decisive. But in general, my global goal after that is to kill a pink hero in the bottom right. Its name is All-Knowing, I think. And this hero has all pink heroes have pretty strong armies. This one is one of the stronger ones, not the strongest, and not even maybe one of top 3. But still kind of a decently strong hero, I think. And so I have to kill him somehow. That's gonna be a challenge, and why I wanna kill him, well, maybe not first, but kind of one of the first, is that he has the Horn of the Abyss. And so that's basically my globally speaking plan at this point. Okay, I have 115 spell points left, and I think I gained what, like 103 when I sacrifice Hydras. So if I didn't sacrifice, I would have 3 mana points left. That would be actually pretty funny, pretty cool. I might have duped you into thinking that it's been all planned, that I actually carefully calibrated my mana spending leading up to that. Too bad I wasn't able to do that. That'd be pretty funny. Okay, that's an annoying fight. Their stacks are a bit too small, so yes, Armageddon makes sense here. So the hero I was talking about is actually the all-knowing pink hero. It's actually accessed via this area. Unless, of course, I probably can dimension door to him instead. I didn't think about it just yet. So one of the green portal exits or entrances, this one, is next to this hero, and I'm going into the last one you saw. So I think we can dimension door actually here, from Nims to this lake in the middle of this island. That might save me a bit of time later. And so Agar is actually going this way, and well, that's where I will find dimension door. To get to it, you need to be able to fly. There are angel wings next to this place, a bit further towards north. But these wings are a bit too well guarded for my hero at this point. Probably a bit too much to ask, but good news, I actually found fly before that, so I don't have to fight for the wings here. Very convenient. City is pretty close. Should probably get to the dimension door next day. Okay, another rather easy fight. Now, in general, kiting against, or I mean, maybe fighting, not kiting, fighting against flyers could be a bit more challenging because it's harder to block your units off. Like, for example, if you remember the fight against Dread Knights for the Black Tent, their primary problem was that they were unable to fly, and that's why I was able to block off half of the battlefield from them. So flyers would not allow me to do that, but at the same time, when it comes to kiting, flyers are actually much easier target to do kiting against, because they're much less prone to spreading around, because they just don't block as much each other out. So it actually makes kiting fights against flyers much more easier than against non-flyers. Okay, I have plenty of mana here, so I really even don't have to care that much about not getting hit here. They're a bit too fast. But as I said, I already even actually lost one worm, so... Okay. Now I probably think about maybe I should take this Pandora box as well. And sure, I should take this Pandora box. It's not difficult fight, obviously, as you can tell. And so Agar is almost... I think there is one more fight, not a difficult fight by any means, before I can consider the path toward Dimension Door open for Seal. And so basically that's probably where we will stop at this point. We made some progress. I need to resurrect it one more time here. Yes, and I got this a very nice thingy. A kettle or a teapot, maybe, I don't know. So these couple of fights are pretty easy. And also Angel's fight is not required as you can see, I just even don't bother with any control here, just going, swinging. Anyway, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Next part we will get the dimension door and we will have some fun. And well, hopefully sometime soon we'll actually finish this map. Who knows? Please leave your feedback in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.